So just how far have we come in Britain when it comes to gay rights? Well, I'm joined now in the studio by Benjamin and Nathan, who are getting married this weekend and who you saw in our earlier report. You can also watch their wedding on Monday night here on Channel 4. I'm also joined by the journalists Milo Yiannopoulos and Eleanor Margolis, who writes for The New Statesman. Benjamin and Nathan, we have to start with you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I mean, tell me, why is this so important to you?
Well, I think it's because March the 29th signifies the beginning of a new period in equality rights for the LGBT community in England and Wales. Scotland obviously following later on this year, and hopefully at some point Northern Ireland too, but specifically England and Wales. I look upon it as hopefully the beginning of a healing process. Suddenly new generations of young people will grow up realising that they're gay, coming to terms with that in a way that is so different from 25 years ago when we were treated very much as second-class citizens.
It has come such a long way. You've come such a long way from being spat in the street to getting married on Saturday.
Absolutely.
In the last few years, it has seemed to move at warp speed, hasn't it? I mean, it's moved so astonishingly quickly. A Conservative-led coalition pushing for this?
Absolutely. No, it's moved incredibly quickly, and I think we feel very proud to be putting the full stop, I think, at the end of a long line of luminaries who you know, we owe our lives to, really, these people who have fought and fought and fought for the rights. But I do think we're now coming to a stage where we can be saying, that's very good, let's look at other issues, let's look at what's happening around the world.
Let's make it not an issue anymore, let's make it normal, let's stop talking about gay wedding and have weddings. I
mean, Eleanor Margolis, for you now, the possibility of a marriage will be a given. I mean, is that a full stop for you in a way? Is that
a full stop in terms
an achievement
in terms of gay rights? No, I don't think it's a full stop at all. Actually, I think that gay marriage it's a very important sort of stop along the road to full equality. But I think that, you know, we didn't stop at repealing Section 28, so why should we stop pushing for equality after?
In a way, it's equality in the eyes of the law. What else is there to fight for now?
I think one of the main problems at the moment is gay bullying, is homophobic bullying in schools. That's still an enormous problem that, you know, that I think gay marriage will sort of address, but, you know, at the same time, it's something that we have to continue fighting for.
Milo, you're shaking your head, raising your eyebrows, looking...
I've been very theatrical. No, I mean, this bullying thing's ridiculous. You know, trying to police the words that children use in the playground, which is what Stonewall's campaign basically boiled down to, banning the word gay, which actually only draws attention to it.
Do you think that children should be allowed to be racist in the playground?
No, not homophobic, but the point is that, you know, when you put a word up like that, like gay, you make it an attractive target because children are transgressive.
When you say put a word up...
Well, I mean, I did a Newsnight debate with Will Young on this subject, and behind us,
they want to ban the use of the word gay. They want to stop it being used in a negative context. That's what's important.
Well, yes, fine.
But you say when you put the word gay up there, what do you mean by that?
Sorry, say it again?
You say that when you put the word gay up there, in a way that you think too much has been made of it.
You turn it into the juiciest target for bullies, who, if they don't pick on you for, you know, being a bit gay, they might pick on you for wearing glasses or for whatever else. You know, bullying is an issue that is, you know, should be dealt with by teachers and by parents. The last thing you want to do is stop policing language in the playground. For me, this is an example of a gay rights movement that's completely run out of steam. There's nothing left to fight for. You know, I'm really happy for you guys, and I'm delighted that, you know, you're able to do this. And you know, I was anti-gay marriage at the beginning, and eventually realised I was being stupid, and did a big public about face on this. But, you know, we already had legal equality with civil partnerships, and what Tony Blair did, what Tony Blair did, which was really smart, was sidestep all of this, you know, religious versus gay lobby warfare, and provided a separate but equal institution that was perfectly good enough.
Can I just ask you really quickly? I mean, historically, you know, marriage was about controlling people. It was about making them respectable. In a sense, do you feel that, you know, this is an attempt to sanitise?
For me, it's not about marriage. It's about equality, and equality is about human rights, and there's no government certainly in this country, but there's no government in the world that should be saying that some people are less worthy of equal rights and human rights than others.
Milo, can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
When they said that black people couldn't travel on the same buses as white people, they could still travel on buses. They could still get from A to B. They
Really
just
briefly
travel on
answer
the
the
same
point,
buses.
because I want to move on to...
Sure, and I will. I mean, it's a totally specious analogy, but the point is that black people had to sit at the back of the bus, whereas if you want to continue your analogy, a civil partnership was another seat in the front row.
I mean, we covered two aspects of gay life in both films. Some would say at either end. Maybe that's not necessarily true. Well, on that point, I mean, do you think that gay marriage in some way will change the way gay people live? Do you think that this is still...
I don't think it will, actually. I think what will happen is that gay people will get married. That is what will change. That's all that will change. Gay people will continue being gay people. I'm not even lumping everyone under the same umbrella, because blonde people will continue being blonde, ginger people will continue being ginger. It's not about the way people live their lives, it's about how those lives are being perceived by the populace at large.
And someone in the film said that, Grindr doesn't define the way gay people live, because very often they are lumped into this homogenous community. But I mean, what for you does something like Grindr reflect?
I think it reflects freedom of choice, and I think that's something that I am positively for across the board. I respect anybody's right to be able to choose the way they live their life.
Eleanor, I mean, the films were full of men, and Grindr, it seems to be specifically for men. I mean, what's your view as a lesbian, as a woman watching that, your understanding of the way dating has changed?
I have absolutely nothing against apps like Grindr and the way that sort of dating has moved online. I think that it's an extremely useful tool for gay people. It's aside from the club scene, it's sometimes extremely difficult to meet a compatible gay person. So I think I think that Grindr is fantastic.
When you talked about being against gay marriage in the first instance, I mean, were you worried that it would somehow change things?
And actually, I've not just changed my mind on that, but I've changed my mind on Grindr as well. I've been writing about Grindr for years, and one of the things I've realised actually is that you talk about the sort of domestication of homosexual life. That sort of terrifies me. As somebody who has struggled with their sexuality in the past, one of the few good things left about being gay is the permission it gives you to be transgressive and to be naughty and to be mischievous. And I feel like we're losing that. And I feel like that's being
That's
very much being washed out of gay life. And actually, Grindr's one of those things. It's one of those, you sort of able to hold on to one of the last few, decently fun things about being a homosexual.
I mean,
Milo, you fascinate me, because it's not about finding fun things about being homosexual.
Well, I think if you fire up a screen full of torsos and pick which one you want to have sex with, it's pretty much just about fun.
But that's not all gay men, is it? That's not all gay men.
No, but we're talking about Grindr users.
Yes, absolutely. And the people who feel that they want to use Grindr in that way, they have the opportunity to do so.
Do you worry about this idea that marriage will, I don't know, give you a sort of heterosexual domestication of your relationship?
It's not going to change
Absolutely not.
Anyway.
No. And also, I think that what's got to be remembered is that gay men will find their own ways of getting married. And I think that's really, really important, that we're sort of not told, well, this is, you get married like this because this is how straight people get married. And I think people will redefine what it even means to be married.
Just very briefly, I mean, there will be religious people who will find your wedding and every other gay wedding upsetting, uncomfortable, distressing even. Do you understand that?
Well, distressing because they can't get married themselves and they're religious and gay. Is that why they'd be
No,
distressed?
I mean just people who oppose gay marriage.
I know what you mean, but what I'm trying to say is that there are plenty of religious people out there who are also gay, who would love to be able to get married in a church. And that is a battle for the religious people to have. Fortunately, we don't have to bring...
I don't know how true that is. I mean, I don't know how many of them you actually know. It's not my experience. I mean, I think that...
It's fine.
I think that anybody who has a strong faith and also practices sexual activity or has desires that don't gel with that faith has a very difficult job of reconciliation to accomplish. And it's a complex and difficult thing to do. And very few of the very religious people I know are desperate to get married in
I'm
church.
really sorry, but we're going to have to end it there. I'm so sorry. But thank you all very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Kathy.
Thanks, Jackie. And on tomorrow's programme, we speak to an American evangelical Christian who took his anti-gay message to Uganda, influencing their draconian laws.
You know, the president of your country is wholeheartedly against this legislation.
Obama?
He's condemned it. He's condemned it. But you're a citizen of this country and you're going there to influence what's happening.
I think Mr. Obama may well be a homosexual himself. He's certainly a radical homosexualist.